Alright, I think I've committed enough time to Mongil Stardive for me to tell you guys what I think about the game. With the story done, with, some events out, I think I can clearly say that I can recommend Mongil Stardive, as it tends to so far not be chasing too many trends. Yes, of course, I know everyone's gonna start doing the whole thing of capturing monsters, but unlike those, in here they seem to be more important. In Mongil Stardive, the point of Mongil Stardive is to collect the monsters. Yes, you will be using them as gear, but they don't just serve for gear. You will be combining monsters to even give during the events, and even some mini games that are in the overworld. And no, I don't mean the puzzles. The puzzles are a different thing. But I gotta say, first and foremost, let's talk about the story. The story is actually really well paced for me. I like the fact that it skips all the yapping and just kind of goes to it. It just kind of goes straight to the point. And I kind of like it. Plus, I think it fits the humorous side of what Mongil Stardive is. And it's good because even during those intense moments, they always pull out something that just makes it seem like you're watching an anime. It really just feels almost Konosuba-like at times. So I'd say the story is kind of enjoyable, in moderation, of course. The only reason why I say that, it's because the drawback of story will probably be the combat. So now let's talk about the combat. Combat is actually really well paced when you are doing everything else but the story, and when you're leveled up more, when you're higher level. You do not need to have a character maxed out to kill lower level enemies, as they don't all evolve with you, right? They don't level up with you, so you will be able to one-shot monsters as you level up your monsters that you equip and other things. So yes, you will be clearing maps and areas really fast, and it's actually good. In my opinion, I think that's a really good thing, because that lets you essentially be able to play the game how you want, get whatever you want, and it also lets you, since the point of the game is to collect the monsters, you should be able to capture them fast so you can combine them and make a new one. Making a new monsterling is something that you always have to strive for, since it's the point of the game. Unlike other gachas that use the system, combining monsters doesn't just make an RNG monster. In here, if it is on the list of the monsterlings, you will be making brand new monsters that you can only get through either, apparently, from limited time events, or you can get them from just combining monsters, which I think it's incredible. I love the atmosphere of the game, for sure. I love the purpose of the game. I really find myself addicted sometimes, that I wish that I could just like log out of the game, log back in, so their monsters could reset so I could keep capturing them. But that's not really how it is, which is fine still, I mean, that could change over time, but either way, Mongil Stardive is a fun game for sure. I think I really enjoy my time with this one. I'm enjoying the events too, for one. They could change they could add a skip button though for the event, since there's not really any dialogue. I mean, there is, but it's told in like a visual novel kind of way, in 3D form, and it's just kind of put me off a bit, because that's not what the rest of the game is kind of like. So I was put off a bit by it, but it's fine. If there's a skip button, it won't bother me at all. The reason why I mentioned the atmosphere, it's because And not from an artistic standpoint. I do have my issues from an artistic standpoint about the atmosphere, but I mean like the atmosphere because of the overall setting of the game, right? Like the overall setting. It is not an open world game. It is actually a super linear game with some side branches, right? Kind of like something like Pragmata would be the best way to put it. It is super simple in structure since it's kind of linear. It's pretty much just forward most of the time, but you will be sidetracked because you will be going to the side. You'll discover like a treasure chest and some other things. There's like a lot on this game, and then when you do a puzzle, you go to this scroll girl and you give her that, and that gives you more stamina, which actually feels like it actually, you know, makes a difference in combat versus other games where you use a stamina system, and even if you level up, you don't really feel any difference. In Mongil Stardive, you do, and that's really nice. From an artistic standpoint, I think the characters look good. I do not think the environment looks great though. Graphically, it does, but environmentally wise, like artistic designed, no. And I don't think that's their fault. I think this is an Unreal Engine 5 issue, because to me, the prettiest location, it's this one. The one with the fairies. I do not want to spoil any more from here. If you haven't played the game, if you have, you know what I'm talking about. But I really think this is the prettiest place here because it's the most colorful one, vibrant one. And it's not a brightness setting. It's an engine issue. This game looks like Wukong. This game looks like any other game that has grass in it and trees. They all look the same, you know. Duet Night Abyss, Wuthering Waves, they all kind of just look the same, and it kind of sucks. I think Wuthering Waves probably uses the engine a little better, but even with its pretty atmosphere, it makes it just look bland, right? Like it just looks boring. Like the environments look a little boring. It's the best way I can explain the problems with the engine. It looks pretty in graphics, but it looks boring artistically. And I do not like that because I think Mongil Stardive has, if not the best, special effects for fire. And I don't know about water. They're almost like the effects are cartoony, but the environments are realistic. It looks kind of off. But I really like the fire effects. I really like the water effects. I like the lightning effects. I really like the special effects in this game or on this game, whatever. And they're incredible. All right, they're incredible. I really do. Just kind of sucks that the environments are a little bit on the boring side. Look at Ashen Familiar, for example. That game, I think, graphically is probably not the most impressive, but in its art style is absolutely fantastic. It is colorful and not in a vomit kind of colorful. It's colorful in the sense that it almost looked like a painting. Monsterlings. Monsterlings can be used in battle just like Wuwa, but you don't control that necessarily. They have a prerequisite. First of all, you have to get the monster from either a boss or whatever monster it is from the boss list that will give you access to having them on your party, so therefore they could, you know, go with you in battle. But they don't run around with you, they just attack randomly. Again, all depends on the requirements of the monster, of what you need to do for it to come out. But the system of having to combine monsters to create a stronger monster, or not just a stronger monster, but a brand new monster to eventually, you know, replace it with traits that are better for it, with a very, let's say, you know, nothingness monster, low monster, but that monster has like really strong traits. I think that's incredible. This game is super. I really enjoy Mongil Stardive because it's super relaxing, and it just gives off this almost cool game experience when it comes from a day-to-day basis. Having to do the monster link stuff and collect the monsters, combine them. It does help that we have an event right now for that, for us to do that. So it's just kind of refreshing, right? It feels refreshing. It's very nice. And I'm really loving the game. I think the music could use a little bit of work. There is only some tracks that I really do like. And that would be in the first area in Elendor, I think, which is the guild place. I really like the guild area music. I like obviously the starting song, the main menu, the opening song, whatever it is. I like that one too. But I don't really have much to say about the music. I wish it could be a little better. I think I've come to my conclusion that the characters look great. The special effects look great. I like the story so far. I like how short it is. It's long enough for me to handle it. And it's engaging enough as it's always feeling like I'm watching an anime. And then there's the fallbacks, right? Environments look a little boring, even though we have that one fairy one that looks absolutely beautiful, and I wish more of the game looked like a fantasy place. Would be very good. You know, there's only so much they can do with Unreal Engine 5. Then there's the shop. Oh my god. Okay, so I don't want to go and talk about the shops too much, but I'll talk about it briefly because, I mean, this is a review, so I kind of have to. There is a lot of things in the shop. And they added even more, but because they added more, I think it's making it a little bit more friendly towards free-to-play players. They added more free items that you can get so that it's not as harsh on you as a free-to-play. Because when the game started, I think it was a little bit painful that you couldn't get some of the things that you kind of need. And there is an imbalance of gold, I think, but they're always giving us new codes. They're always doing all of this. By the way, I'll put some new codes that have been out since my previous video where I talked about them. So I'll have the codes down below in the description if you guys want to check that out. The gacha system is not a 50-50 when it comes to the event banner. The event banner is not a 50-50, it is an 100%, and the rate increases around the 70-something pool, but it is kind of a lower chance to get the character. But I mean, it's kind of justified, right? Like it's fine because you have an 100% chance anyways to getting it at 90, since 90 is the pity. And without no 50-50, who cares? Where it matters is in the pool currency. Now, I thought this game was going to be way more of a dupe heavy kind of game, and it probably is, but it doesn't feel like it. I feel like the income of pools is actually fairly lower than I anticipated. And I think that's about it. I talked about the gameplay, I talked about the story, the music, the systems. I mean, there's not much to say about the combat. The combat is kind of like Zenless. If it looked like Wuthering Waves camera angles instead of, you know, how the angles are in Zenless. So it kind of feels like that. I do like the fact that for Conquest, whenever you're going on a higher ranking of Conquest, the monsters actually start having different things that they do. They start attacking more and they start doing more. I think that's really awesome. And I know they took that from Wuthering Waves, I'm sure. But without further ado, I think that is about it for my review of Mongil Stardive. Even with its drawbacks, I think this is a really solid game. I really do think that if you're a monster collector, and you know what the purpose of a monster collector game is, I think you'll enjoy this one. I'm looking forward to seeing what upcoming events seem like too, because this was an okay start. You know, I actually like the lesser event more than I think I did the main event with Esther, because the lesser one actually had to do with monsterlings and capturing monsterlings to combine monsterlings to give them to the girl. Anyways, it's good. I like Mongil Stardive. It's been fun. I actually want to play it more. I want to keep playing it more, but we need more stamina stuff. I don't feel like they give us enough. We need more. I want more stamina. I just want more. But without further ado, that is it for the Mongil Stardive video. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. I cannot recommend Mongil Stardive enough. If you like monster taming or monster capture games, you might like this one for sure. I know I do. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought. It is super relaxing, just doing the same thing every day. I know that sounds like a chore to some, and that can be. I think it really just depends on what kind of player you are and what you're looking for in a game. And if you know the genre of the game that it is. If you never played one before, give it a try. It's free to play after all. It doesn't cost you anything but maybe some time to, you know, give it a go. Try and get the feel of it. You lose nothing from trying it. You lose all perspective from not playing it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.
I've had enough of you.